strong.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I'm your host, Lynn B., and I'm here with my co-host,
Edward Beth. How are you?
And today we have on Debbie Sue Goodman, and Debbie Sue is an author, a comedian, and an actress. Welcome to our show, Deborah.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, I'm thrilled that you could come on. So, I'm going to put two of your little tidbits aside. You're being an author. We're going to get to this, an author and actress. I want to ask you about your comedy. Like, do you do stand up? What do you do? Well, as a comedian, what do you do?
Oh, sure. Yes, I became a stand-up comedian after I became an author. Actually, I wrote a couple of books. My first book was called Still Single. My second one was Still Dating. And then the next one's going to be I Give Up. But
oh, you don't have finally got married?
But I was writing comedy, and then I was at a book signing, and there was a guy that ran a comedy. He had like comedians, a comedy show in Chicago, and he just said, these stories are so great. They're so much fun. They're funny. People are laughing. You should try comedy. And I never did before because I was an actress in some local plays, and I did musicals and things. But I really enjoyed it, and I love writing. And I wrote a third book, a drama book. One of my friends went through a divorce, and then I was married years ago, and I had an annulment. Another girlfriend went through a divorce, so I wrote a drama. It's a novel called My Husband, the Stranger.
Right.
And that one, I'm hoping that it would be that we're going to try to turn it into a film or a feature film. It would be great. And in my comedy,
it's great.
So I've been working on that. But yes, I have a great time. I love doing the comedy shows, and I do a lot of private events, birthday party, and all kinds of like senior groups, singles groups. I've really enjoyed it.
We have some family up in Chicago. I have a niece and a cousin up in Chicago. Yeah. Gary's been in Chicago how long? Long time.
Wow.
Gary's been there for quite some time. I finally, what's funny is I finally, growing up in New Jersey, lived in New York City for a long time. Finally got out to Chicago and to see my Kansas City Chiefs. But Chicago was a fantastic.
Oh, I loved it. I went to Chicago a long time ago, but O'Hare is a beautiful airport. But my younger son was in boot camp up there, so it happened to be. Even though they were graduating in November, it happened to be a freak great weekend that was so warm. They couldn't even believe it. We had such a great time because it was so beautiful up there,
Yeah,
just so warm. People. It really is. It's for February, we have it's supposed to be 61 degrees. We've had warm weather all week. It's been amazing. And
that's great.
I know it's been really wonderful here. We've had very little snow. We had some cold temperatures last month, but it's just been amazing. It's the sun is out, it's beautiful, and it's warm, and everybody is so surprised because usually for February we get either a lot of cold weather or snow, but it's been beautiful.
Oh,
so
guys,
send some of that down.
It's brutal.
No, I'm in Jersey, so we're supposed to warm up a little bit. So maybe some of your lake effect with the warmth will come down by us.
I hope so. I know. I've had friends that lived in New York too, and I know that the weather's usually similar. It's usually if they have snow, we have snow, but we've been very lucky. We have hardly had any snow. It's just been really believable.
No, we've gotten some snow. I really don't pay attention to it anymore. I just, I'm very lucky that the people around me will just clean my car and then they'll move it and they come and they plow. So I really don't have to do anything. I'm very happy about it, as opposed to when I was younger and out there scraping away. But, so it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't that bad. I can think of snowstorms where we used to build the igloos and the things lasted for like 2 months. They didn't melt or anything.
Right. I know.
It's not that kind of weather anymore. I don't know what's going on.
Everything changed. And I used to love the snow. When I was younger, I liked the same thing. We used to make like the forts, the igloos, and then the balcony.
Well, snow is great. Snow is great when you don't have to go to school. The whistle blows, there's no school. Snow is awesome, but when you get older, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Debbie, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed being that you're out in Chicago and you didn't come on our podcast with a Mike Ditka mustache.
Oh, I would. I thought about it. And then I was going to ask you, and then I thought maybe not. Maybe I should.
You can wear Mike Dicka's mustache.
It's not right. It's hysterical.
And a cigar, too.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Yes, we're Bears fans. Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, we make fun of them all the time. The Bears. Yeah, we're always making fun of them. But my family, I'm a Giants fan, but my family's all into Kansas City. But I do root for them. So I was very happy they won the Super Bowl.
Yes, that was a great game. It was.
I thought it would be more exciting than what it was because neither team really did much of anything. It was a totally defensive game. But, I have to ask you, it was exciting. It was exciting. And I do love the whole, romance between Travis and Kelsey. And, it just makes it that much more interesting to watch.
So, yes.
It is. A love story is always wonderful. And it doesn't matter whether it's football or anything,
Yes. It is wonderful. Yes.
So your book
coincides with her book.
Yeah, still dating. I mean, how long have you been dating?
Well, it's really amazing. I have to tell you guys, I have wonderful male friends, and for all these years, I've been very lucky, and female friends too. And then a special fellow that is sort of a companion of mine. He's a great guy, and we kind of go all over together. We travel, and for almost 11 years, we've been buddies. So and then I have my other male friends. We go to dinner, we go to movies. We enjoy the same things, concerts, different things. And then my buddy comes with me to a lot of my shows, and to just to enjoy each other's company. And he's a widow, and for many years, so it's we have a good time together. But with all my friends, I have single friends, I have some married friends, and we all have a lot that we enjoy together. I have a lot in common, a lot of things that, and I'm a good listener. I like to try to help people when they're going through different things, and I enjoy it. At my shows, people come up to me all the time. I have men that come up to me after the show, and women too, and they say, either they're single or when they were single, oh, I went on a date. Let me tell you about my date and what happened on my date that was cool. They always have something funny. But, and I don't put names or anything in my books. I kind of, I'll take a story of something that happened on maybe perhaps an online date, and then I embellish a little bit, and make the story a little bit, kind of wilder than actually happened. Otherwise, if comedy routine, unless you kind of go with it. But I'm always writing notes, and if something happens in my life, happy or sad, I wrote poems. I put some poems in my first book. I also write songs. I love to, and I sing in my shows. I do comedy, and I'm a musical comic because I sing. I do celebrity impressions, and I also wrote a lot of songs too. So I write song lyrics and things like that. So a little bit of everything. Through the years, I've enjoyed doing a variety of things.
So do an impression for us. Who are you going to do?
Yes, you know what? My favorite, and everybody always asks at my shows, "Are you going to do your Liza Minnelli?" I have Ethel Merman, Cher. There's so many, all the greats, all my favorites. Liza's always been my favorite because when I saw her in Cabaret, I thought I got to be in musicals. I just loved, I was often thinking, what would happen if I saw her in person too, and I met her, and I got her autograph once at
oh wow,
okay. She was citing a fragrance. It was actually a fragrance at time when she was citing one of her fragrances, and it was just, she was so sweet. And I was thinking, what would she say with with being here and everything? We're having such fun. I'm so excited to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm having so much fun and life is a cabaret of chums. And I'm so glad I'm here today. And thank you so much. And I'm so sorry I'm spitting on everybody. But
Oh my God, that's great.
don't say thank you. I love it. But there's so many greats. I get on stage and Ethel Merman, I do a whole routine. Ed Sullivan, I do a lot of the guys too.
Ed Sullivan, you do Ed Sullivan?
Well, I kind of stand there and sort of like it. I mean, if I stand up, you might not see me. This whole routine where I'm actually standing and making the movements and
he's kind of like, didn't he have his like finger to his mouth or something like that, or on his chin, or I don't know, he did something.
Yes.
I remember him from the Beatles when the Beatles were on.
Yeah,
but I didn't watch his show. I guess my parents watched it, but of course because the Beatles were on, and I said, "Oh, that man is so grumpy. How does he? He's so grumpy."
I was like, I know. Right here, right now, on this very stage, introducing. It was always like the chin was down, like. But the Beatles. It was, if you go on my stillsingle.org, I have and my YouTube page, my YouTube channel actually has a lot of my comedy bits,
comedy.
Clip.
It's me doing Cher, doing Ed Sullivan, and all kinds of different celebrity voices, and I love it. I have a good time.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna take one or two clips before I advertise when your episode is up. Maybe I'll go on. I'll take one or two clips and I'll throw them out there before we actually do this. Put your episode on. I think it would be funny. Yeah, I think it would be really good.
Any comedian that does that goes down the road of impressions blows me away, because there's some amazing comics out there, but then when you see a comic that really could dial in a persona or personality, or however someone carries himself, it is a remarkable skill set, and there's certain people that do it incredibly well. Yes. Did you ever hear Debbie? I'm positive heard the comedian Pollock.
Oh, sure.
Is it Jeff Pollock?
I think it is. Yes.
Jeff Pollock.
So many
comedian actor. But I watched him do a skit once, and it was all impersonations, and he tied it all together, and it was one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. And I didn't know he had that type of ability, because you see movies, you see this, whatever. So it is, and people don't understand. I mean, comedy's hard enough.
Yes.
But to do impersonations and pull it off is a whole different skill set. So
I've seen so many comedians. I mean, my dad's first cousin was comedian Shecky Green. I don't know if you remember Shecky. That was in Los.
I remember that name.
Yes, and he passed on New Year's Eve. I mean, it was so sad. And
oh wow,
he had been performing, up until I guess maybe 10, 11 years before he passed. He just kind of was retired. I went to see him in Vegas in his house with his beautiful wife, and we talked for a little bit, and he looked great. I mean, he was amazing. And it was my dad's first cousin. And then we went to see him in Chicago when he came to Mill Run Theater and performed, and several other theaters. I saw him in Las Vegas. He performed for 20 years at the Riviera out there. And
wow.
I mean, I met so many celebrities through him and different people in his shows. And I have another cousin that wrote for the Golden Girls and MTV.
That was a great show.
Excellent.
Show.
So it's great that I had a lot of people in my family that were in show business, and I got to meet so many wonderful people. I mean, just so many talented, wonderful people. We went to see Rich Little 2 years ago. And he was great.
Awesome.
I mean, voices. It was really amazing. And
I was always a big, in regards to comedy, to me, the big three for me growing up was George Carlin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, for my time frame. Obviously, there's even greater ones before that, but George Carlin and Richard Pryor to me were just, and Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, too, yeah.
Yeah, Robin Williams, wonderful. I saw George Carlin in person. He was fabulous, so brilliant. They're all so great.
Very, very interesting guy. Not only funny and quick and witty, but just an interesting guy to hear speak.
Really was.
The way he formulated his thoughts and the way he presented them was so interesting.
Right.
So wonderful.
And smart.
I watched a clip that they put on. I don't know if it was on Google. I forget what. It was about a month ago, and it was Robin Williams' first visit to Johnny Carson's show, and they had a whole clip on. Yeah. I was crying. I was laughing so hard, and I thought, Stan's brain is so outrageous. It's so outrageous. He was so young back then, and he was really starting out. And I'm like, oh my God, like he deserved to be on Mork because he was from outer space. I mean, like, he was so incredible, but so funny. I mean, everything he did was hysterical, and he didn't stop. He was nonstop. It was unbelievable.
Amazing. Amazing.
He was amazing.
I saw
How do you
Riggles from years ago. He was wonderful. Don Riggles, Richard.
Oh yeah.
They were all so great.
Rickles.
All of them. They were all amazing. I really enjoyed
Don Rickles is he's another one. He's just incredible.
He's like a fish. Yeah.
No, but he's just such a brutally funny, brilliant guy. Like he's just classic. But Chicago is big time famous for Second City TV. You ever have any involvement with that, or know anybody in that arena?
I have seen a lot of shows there, and it's funny because I knew another lady that owned the Improv Olympic. Her mother was a friend of my mother's years ago. I guess they went to school together or something. But they, at the time, I was thinking, should I get into improv? And then just for some reason, I just always liked doing stand-up and being on my own on stage, and then doing musical theater, local theater. I, did a lot of musicals and sang in the chorus in the background, did some acting. And I always like to do things like just get up and tell stories and funny jokes and kind of, sing and do, the impressions and stuff and kind of make it my own. But I know I thought about improv for quite a while, and I just never really got. I tried it a few times, and then I never really got into it where I wanted to pursue it more. But I know a lot of people that have, and they really enjoyed it. I just like to do the stand-up, and I started writing scripts, screenplays too, based on my comedy. This one, Dating Dilemmas, that I wrote, I actually won some comedy awards for my comedy in Chicago. Several awards for just for best comedian and for best script screenplay for the Believe in Your Dreams Cinefest. I won a couple of years back too an award for my Dating Dilemmas. And my friend Sandy, she's so sweet, and I've known her for many years, and she has a magazine, Red Silk Carpet magazine, and it's beautiful. And I've been in her magazine, and then I've won so many awards when she's had different contests for, and I won for best comedian. So the scripts are, I'm hoping that I could turn one of my scripts. I have a lot of short films that I filmed and been in and been the lead actress in and written the scripts for. But I'm hoping that could be would be a great weekly TV series or something like
You always have anything in the fire with anybody? Are you talking to any producers or directors, or do you have any backing or anything like that?
I have a few people that I've spoken to, and I'm hoping, with my talent agent and everything, that we can get something going with that. This is something that I decided to do recently with this, thinking this would be a great idea, because people at my shows always say this would be a great weekly show, TV show, or did you ever think of doing a feature film based on one of your books? And like My Husband the Stranger, that would be a great feature film. And I also wrote some other things. There's some other stories that I've written that are true stories. And I've been with my buddy John, my actor friend John McDonald. We do a lot of shows together. and short films and stuff. And we have another couple of short films that we're hoping would be a great feature film or some, anything like that.
That's great. That's great. I actually authored a book, but I haven't had any time to really promote it, which I'm going to do. But I felt the same way. I said, "Oh, this would be a great Lifetime movie." Like you have all these grandiose ideas, and one of these days I'll work on it and try and promote it. But I wrote it, published it, and then jumped right into doing the podcast. So I never really did anything to back it,
Yes, I did. I read a little bit about you in your writing and everything in your books, and it sounds fabulous. You should do that. I think the Lifetime movies are so wonderful. I love them.
Wonderful. They are. I was talking to somebody from California the other night, and we were talking about it, and she said, "I'm going to read your book and let me see. Let me put it out there to a few people." I said, "Marlene, go right ahead. Do whatever you want, that would be wonderful." But yeah, writing is you really have to have something inside of you that really wants to come out. People just don't sit down and write. I mean, it's got to be there. It's going to, I wouldn't consider myself an author, so to speak, although I would like to do a children's series, but I don't consider myself. I authored a book. I was an author of a book. Something that I really wanted to do. But you, on the other hand, you've written several books. You are an author. You have put a lot out there. You are doing, screenplays and what have you. So you're truly an author. I'm not. I'm just like a wannabe.
We write I'd love to work with you. That would be great. Thank you. I think you both are. This is a fabulous podcast. You're doing wonderful.
Oh, you're really very, very interesting. When I saw you on LinkedIn, I was like, she would be so great on our show. I hope she says yes. And you were so kind and generous to do this. And I really appreciate the fact that you came on and you gave us your time. And I know your time is very precious to you. And, I understand that. But, I really appreciate
Debbie, what she's really doing right here is she's trying to butter you up. So you send her a Chicago beef sandwich.
There
like door to door service. That's what she's doing right now. She's laying down the track work.
If you come out, we'll go and take you for a sandwich.
Yes, I know. My nieces always ask me to come out. I'll let you know if I do get to do that.
Love it. It'll be great to see. Yes, I'll take you for a sandwich. Anywhere you want to go. That sounds great.
So where can all of our followers find you, Debbie?
Sure. You could find me under my full name, Debbie Sue Goodman, on Google. I'm all over the place. And also on Instagram, the Debbie Sue G3. And I have a Twitter. I guess that became X now.
Yeah, I'm on that. Yeah.
Really go on there. I don't go on there as much as I go on Instagram and Facebook. I think I have 5,000 friends now. I might be filled up, but you can find me on my website at stillsingle.org, O-R-G. And on my YouTube link, if you go Debbie Sue Goodman, you'll see my YouTube channel with a lot of some of my videos. And
where I'm going to take my clips from. That's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy that.
Thank you so much. I would love it.
Thank you so much for being on the show. And we are funnyminds.com. Please go on our website. We do have some merch on there. But we have two organizations that we're very involved with, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and breast cancer. So there's a big purple button. And if you are so inclined and are able to make a donation to those organizations, we would greatly appreciate it, because everybody knows that they are two really wonderful organizations. And I always say to everybody before I leave and say goodbye, to be happy, be wise, to smile, be non-judgmental, healthy, and laugh, because we all know that laughter is the best medicine. And with that, I say goodbye, Debbie, and thank you so much. And I was really thrilled that you took the time to be with us today.
Thank you
for inviting me. Thank you both so much. I had a wonderful time.
Debbie, thank you so much, Debbie. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.